I want to talk to you about your relationship with money. Haven't you noticed, no matter how much you make, it never feels enough? Because we're always trying to catch up to our lifestyle. So when we earn more, our lifestyle changes. And then to accommodate that, we need to earn more. And then we're constantly stuck on this conveyor belt. I was having a conversation with a friend who recently got a pay rise. Despite getting the pay rise, they didn't seem much happier. They were explaining to me how the expenses are getting really higher, how the cost of living is really high. And it made me think, a couple of years ago, if they found out that they weren't going to earn this kind of money, they would have been over the moon. And then it dawned upon me, it's not just them. I know a lot of successful people through work who earn way more than they earned a couple of years ago. And they all feel exactly like this person. They feel a little bit left behind, maybe more than before. And I don't think that's a coincidence. I think it's actually really predictable once you understand what's going on. So if you have a bad relationship with money and you feel like nothing you do is enough, you might be interested in these 3 shifts from Stoic philosophy that will reframe your relationship with wealth. So here's the pattern most of us are stuck in. So let's say we've hit a number, a salary or a milestone, and for about a week, everything feels amazing. And then it becomes normal. Your brain adjusts to this number. And then you keep looking at the next milestone, convinced that that's the one that's going to make you happy. Meanwhile, we are constantly comparing ourselves to other people. Before you've even had your first cup of coffee, you know if someone's bought a new flat, if someone's got a promotion, if someone's going on holiday, if someone's in a relationship. Our brains were genuinely not built for that. We have evolved to compare ourselves maybe to a handful of people, but definitely not everyone on the internet. Every day, all day. So a lot of what we call burnout actually not even about working too hard. It's the exhaustion of chasing a version of enough that keeps moving every second you get close to it. Which brings me to my first shift. And honestly, this one changes the whole game once you actually take it on. Think about how much your bad days come down to things that you don't control. So if a client says no, if someone else gets a promotion, if the market dips, your whole mood for the rest of the day, it gets hijacked because of something you had zero say in. There's a man who ran the entire Roman Empire called Marcus Aurelius, arguably the most powerful man on the planet at that time. And every night, privately, just for himself, he used to write the same reminder over and over again. Don't waste your energy on what isn't yours to control. Put it all into what is. And I think that is wild, because if anyone in the world had a reason to believe money and power equal peace, it was him. He had all of it, and he still needed to humble himself and remind himself all of this daily. The Stoics call this the Dichotomy of Control. Some things are up to you, but almost everything else isn't. Your salary this year, not up to you. The economy, your industry, the person who your boss promotes, someone else doing better than you, none of this is up to you. But how you show up today, that's completely yours. Whether you're honest, whether you follow through on something, whether you're kind to the person in front of you. All of these things, they don't move with the market. So the reframe is this: feeling wealthy in the Stoic sense. It was never about having the most amounts of money. It was about not allowing money or anything outside your control to dictate how you feel about your life. That kind of wealth is actually available to you right now, whatever you earn, and it's not locked behind a number. Which takes me to point number 2. Have you noticed that some people earn a fraction of what you're on right now and they feel completely relaxed and at peace about money? And some people who earn way more than you seem constantly anxious about it. That is not a coincidence. And it's not really about a number either. Seneca, who was one of the most richest men in Rome, so this guy is not broke, talking about philosophy. He said something that stuck with me for years, that it's not the person with little who's poor. It's the person who always wants more. Being poor in a way that actually wrecks your peace. It's not about the number in your account. It's about the relationship you have with the word enough. And that relationship can break at any income level. I'm being honest, I've met people earning 6 figures who feel poor because enough keeps sliding further away every time they try to get close. And I've also met people who earn way less who feel completely secure and at peace because a number doesn't dictate their happiness. That's why people who choose simple lifestyles are very happy. Listen, I am not telling you that you should stop wanting more. Having ambition and having goals is great. That's not the point of this video. What burns people out is holding their peace at hostage until that wanting is satisfied. telling yourself, and sometimes this can happen subconsciously, that you will relax once you hit that milestone. The Stoics would flip that completely. They would say, practice living well now at this income. Not because you're settling, because peace was never meant to be the price at the finish line. It's supposed to be the thing you build everything else on top of. Which nicely brings me to point number 3, which actually is a question. Have you ever taken a walking tour? You probably have. So what's interesting is a tour guide has the ability to make the most mundane things sound beautiful. Even the boring streets you walk past every day have a rich history. Shops that have possibly been there since the 1800s. A building that used to be completely different before. Suddenly, the streets feel rich, genuinely rich, and nothing about the street actually changed. What changed is your perspective after hearing a story. That's the thing about a good tour guide. Oftentimes, they're not showing you something new. They're asking you to pay more attention to the details of what's around, and then they're handing over the attention to you. And that's basically the entire Stoic definition of wealth, if you boil it down. There's this old story about Alexander the Great, who basically conquered the entire world. So he goes to meet this philosopher called Diogenes, who's sitting in the dirt next to a barrel. He basically owns nothing. And Alexander says, I am the most powerful man alive. Ask me for anything. And Diogenes just goes, can you move? You're blocking my sun. He didn't want anything Alexander had. He already had his sun, his thoughts, his ability to actually notice his own life. And that was worth way more to him in that moment than anything money could buy. There's a reason why I'm telling you this story. So here's the practice, and it's genuinely simple. The Stoics call this negative visualization. So you take 30 seconds or so and you think about something you already have that you'd be gutted to lose. So this could be someone you love, this could be your health, or somewhere warm to sleep tonight. I want you to actually sit there imagining not having it. So that feeling that hits you, that's what wealth actually feels like. It's the tour guide effect. Most of us are walking past our own streets on autopilot. We're waiting for a bigger house, a bigger car, a better lifestyle, a bigger number, which is going to make us stop and notice. But you can be your own tour guide tonight for free at whatever you currently earn. So if you feel burnt out because you're comparing your year 5 to somebody else's year 15, waiting to feel okay until something external changes, here's one thing I want you to take from this video. You don't need permission to feel okay today. You don't need the bigger number right now. You already have everything. Everything Stoics said that makes us feel wealthy. The ability to choose how you respond to things outside your control. The ability to notice what you already have instead of what you're missing. And the ability to stay present instead of comparing to everyone else. I want you to build wealth. I genuinely do. That's not what this video is against. Just build it as someone who's already whole, not someone who's trying to buy their way into feeling whole. Because if you're waiting for a number to fix this feeling, I have to be honest with you, it won't. There is no number, because people at every income level, they're chasing the same peace that you're chasing right now. You can feel wealthy today, not because you have huge income, because you've stopped measuring the value of your life by how much money you have. If this video helps you see something differently, make sure you subscribe to the channel. There's lots of videos like this that will help you in that mindset shift. I've also built a free guide that will help you change your identity in one day. It's that simple. It's completely free, so why not give it a go? Link is in the description. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.